Ladies and gentlemen, did you ever think that you could see a merge tactics video started in the middle of a rice field? Well, this is the case. We are getting into the Goblin Forest right now, and this is gonna be the ultimate merge tactics guide on how I reached 4,350 stars. That's basically top 400 in the world, more or less. So I will try to explain every single little detail that goes into the games when I'm playing, the strategy, the best compositions, how to cycle elixir. I will try to make it as detailed as possible, and well, see you when I'm in a better spot to record the gameplay. I think I will try to make it better than last time, because the audio was horrible when I recorded the Evo Tesla video. So this time I will try to take care of that and solve that issue. So see you later. Okay, as you can see here, I'm in a much better spot, so we shall analyze plenty of replays right now, hoping the mosquitoes do not kill me too much. So I will leave the tablet here in order to avoid messing with the microphone. Mamma mia, no, ce ne sono troppe. Mamma mia, quante ce ne sono. Oh. Anyway, let's get started. So these are basically more than 3 hours of replays, and I will... Oops, let's go from the very start. And I will speed up them a little bit, because I want to be home for dinner basically, and it's almost 6 p.m. so we shall get started. So as you can see, I started from 4,183 stars, and well, this is the first game against Leo. I faced Leo many times. So at the beginning, what we do is basically cycling. Since we have the Spirit, I will put this, okay? Since we are playing the Spirit Empress, the key is to cycle as much as you can in the first rounds. So basically, you always try to do some troops on, like, to level them on 2 stars, sell, level, sell, all the time, as much as you can. And trying at the same time to maintain the best possible composition in order to avoid losing the round, or if you can win, it's much better. Also, another thing, as you can see here, I am basically trying to play some classical squad, which is involving around the Giant Skelly. Since I could level it to 3 stars, it was basically a no-brainer. The most intelligent thing to do was to play all around that and snowball on the fact that I could level, like I already had a level 3 Giant Skelly, which is a 5 elixir card, so it was pretty nice. And the key here is to basically make the squad and cycle, keep cycling as much as you can, keeping the cards that you are interested in. So I was interested here in the Giant Skelly, which I did to level 3. Then I'm trying to do basically the combo with the throwers and the undead. So yeah, as you can see, I basically have 3 triple star cards, while the opponent doesn't have any particular synergy, and he also has under-leveled cards here. So it was an easy win this round, and the key is that, like, to play around, to exploit the luck in the first round. In this game in particular, I was very lucky, I have to be honest. So yeah, basically the missing card is the Goblin Lanciere. I don't know like yeah, the goblin with the Spirit Goblin. So here it was better to just leave the Goblin Machine, and this is a pretty good combo. Okay, and so I leave that for the last round. I'm getting killed. Like, I'm losing, like, today I will probably lose 4 liters of blood. Anyway, as you can see, this was a quite tougher round. But since we made a good composition, we basically managed to secure a positive streak. So the key thing about climbing stars in merge is not so much to win every time in the first place, but as long as you just avoid losing, so just get second many times, you can climb, like because you gain like 10 trophies, something like that. So the key in this game, at least in the long run, is not to lose. And here I was just trying to mess up the cycle of the opponent, because if I can manage to collect, like for example here you can see I collected a 2-star queen, so my opponent cannot make it to 3 stars, because the way merge tactics works is that there is a common pool of cards, everyone draws cards from that common pool, and so if I have a 2-star queen, my opponents can't upgrade that card to 3 stars, essentially. I mean, I never remember if there are 4 or 5 per card, but yeah, okay. Okay, I should speed this up a little bit. Let's put it to double speed. So here I preferred to place the Mega Knight. Okay, no, I left the Giant Skelly. The Giant Skelly is pretty good against that composition because it clears everything in the middle. And many people tend to play many troops in the middle. Okay, so here I basically exploited the fact that I had a good starting round. Now, what I do is basically merge again, and sometimes it is worth it to like sell, like if you see that you have a merge coming next, like in this case, it is worth it sometimes to lose 1 elixir and then opt for like getting 2 consecutive merges. I don't remember which composition I used in this game, and as you can see I faced Leo again. You will see Leo many times in this game. Okay, so in this game I think I don't remember, I just merged a lot in the first rounds. And here this was a really nice composition because I had all level 2, I will call them level instead of star, level 2 cards, and my opponent had only like 1-star card, so it was, even if I had no particular synergy, it was much better. So this is the key. In the first round, even if you don't have any synergy, it's better to just level up cards and keep merging. That's why it's called merge tactics. But here, as you can see, I lost badly. Mamma mia, sti moscerini infami. I think I will be forced to leave this place because there are too many mosquitoes. But I will try to resist. Yeah, we have 2 more hours left. So, okay, let's get back to the commentary. Here I just tried to make what I could. Oh, I was lucky here, yeah, because the ghost was like getting crazy there. So as you can see here again, I didn't have any particular synergy, I just focused on leveling up cards. And here, okay, I said, okay, it's time to make a 3-star cards. And here I went again for the throwers, more or less, which I didn't finish for the round. And maybe here I lost, probably. But it's still good, because as you can see, we managed to win stars again, win trophies. Okay, so here I think I got the Spear Goblin, yes, and as you can see, usually in the first rounds I prefer to take lower elixir cards because it's much easier to get merges. Here I was a bit unlucky, but it's okay to take damage in the first rounds. And the P.E.K.K.A is a pretty good card in the starting hands, in the starting phases, because it tanks a lot. And for example, look at that, Giant Skelly, it basically gets melted. But the opponent had a 2-star Spear Goblin, which was really good for him. And so here we keep merging, trying to keep some good composition in the field. And one mistake that I usually do is that sometimes I accumulate too many 1-star cards on the bench, and that's not really good, because when you have too many 1-star cards on the bench, usually you have a weak composition in the field, because you don't manage to level up that much. But here, as you can see, this is another nice composition that you can do, which is the Rangers with the P.E.K.K.A in the middle. The P.E.K.K.A tanks a lot, and then the Goblin Machine is the next card that we want to level up. Look at that. The Rangers work really good in the starting, like in the mid game. The Rangers are basically, I think, the best composition. But in the late game against the classical clan with Avengers, it struggles a lot. So you usually lose in the last rounds. But here, as you can see, I have much higher levels, and so we just took the win here. And this is again a third game that we managed to win, basically. Not in the first place. Maybe this was a first place win, but in any case, we don't care that much about that. Important thing is not to lose. And so here I keep merging, trying to look for the Goblin Machine, but actually my opponent had a 2-star Goblin Machine, so I couldn't upgrade it even if I wanted. But in this case we won, because the Rangers work really well against the... how can I call it? Against the throwers with the undead. Okay, so here we start with the... Mamma mia! Opa! With the P.E.K.K.A again. In the first rounds the P.E.K.K.A is great. It's great. And we keep merging, and I... like, usually what I do is just the last 5 seconds before the end of the round I try to make the best composition. Until then I just merge. I just focus on merging. Okay, so here, wait, let me go a little bit behind. Oh, okay, oops, this is too fast, because I want to focus on this. 1 second. Against, like, for example, this is what I'm saying. Like, look at here. You could probably just leave this, but what I do is to sell the Giant Skelly, even if it was a 1-star, and thanks to that, I managed to get again the cycle going. So this was a key. This is a key thing that you have to assimilate. This is a really nice tip that I can give you. So even if you lose with a 1-star card some elixir, then you gain a ton of that with the merges in the next cycle. Let's see. So this was a really nice thing that you could see here. And again, I'm sorry, maybe I'm leaving many things. I will try to fix a comment when I explain a bit better, like things to keep in mind when playing. But right now this is the best I can do. So, and I also will be out for some days or weeks, I don't know. So I won't be able to do like this kind of format with the video, with the camera. So here again, we are basically playing the composition with the P.E.K.K.A and the Rangers with the tanks in front. And the Knight, like, yeah, the normal Knight is pretty good because it has a good synergy with the Princess. And even if it is like a 2 elixir card, it tanks a lot. But here we lost, so we finished third. I don't know what went wrong. I am a bit confused here. So okay, also the Prince is a pretty good card to get at the beginning, because it stuns. With the rest of the cards you can do a lot of damage. So here in this mode, okay, we basically get a copy in this modifier, and look at that, I keep cycling, and I leave 2-star cards, and my opponent has all 1-star cards, so I easily won the round. So this is the key, to keep the best possible composition in the field while you keep cycling cards and getting more elixir, because with the Spirit Empress you have to remember this. Anytime you make a merge with the Spirit Empress, you gain a you have a positive balance of +1 elixir, essentially. So when you sell a 1-star card, you lose 1, but when you do a merge, you gain 1. And since you do more merges than you sell, at the end of the day you are in a good spot. So here I'm trying to level up the Goblin Machine, the Knight, and the P.E.K.K.A. And the rest of the cards are just used to keep cycling. Okay, I put the P.E.K.K.A. in the middle. So this is a pretty good placement. Usually for the Rangers, this is a good thing because you divide, basically you put separate tanks, so they are much more difficult, for example for the Valk, to reach, like because of the splash effect. And from behind your troops like splash a lot, especially the Princess. Everything gets quite cluttered in the middle, and the Princess does a lot of work. So here we face the Clan Avengers, and usually you struggle against Clan Avengers. Indeed, here we lost. There is no way to win against the composition, essentially. I think it's still the best composition even after the balance changes, but I play the Rangers a lot because it is quite easy to make, and usually it secures you at least the second place. And as you can see here, well, this is another game I was analyzing. Usually another tip is try to look at the composition of the opponents for 2 reasons. Because sometimes you can fix stuff or position your troops better, and on the other hand, because if your opponent has, like for example, in this case, a level 3 Mega Knight, you already know you can just forgive about it. You can't make a level 3 Mega Knight. So you just have to focus on other troops. And here we essentially lost, because this is I don't know, maybe we came back, I don't know how we won this, but well, we won, maybe because we had some better levels overall in general for the squad. And here again I go with the P.E.K.K.A. because the P.E.K.K.A. is really good in the first round, and especially in this modifier where the troops in the middle row, they basically reflect the damage. So in this mode it is pretty nice to place everything in the middle, and especially tanks or middle tanks like the Knight, the Valk, the P.E.K.K.A. Okay, well, I hope it doesn't cover too much my voice. So again, let's keep cycling, and maybe I should try to explain the criteria for cycling, but there is really no criteria because you have only one troop to merge when you cycle. It just basically appears with the green arrow, so you just take the green arrow all the time. And when you don't get the green arrow, you just sell some troop that doesn't interact too well with what you have, essentially. So the key is to keep the composition in mind and keep cycling, as I said multiple times. So here, for example, look at, well, no, he already lost in the previous rounds, but it was a considerable difference in the star levels. So here, for example, my opponent is trying to play a similar squad, and well, in this case I went for the Clan Avengers composition, and usually the way you want to place it is with the Valk in the middle because it splashes everything, and the Queen on the right or on the left in the front row, because it takes like the troops in which are behind. Especially against Rangers it is good, but well, maybe against my opponent here it wasn't that necessary, but I like to do it. In general, this placement is one of the best in my opinion. And also in this game, like in this modifier, if you remember, they reflect the damage. So if you place everything in the first row, you got an advantage. And for example, with this modifier, which reflects the damage, the rangers, so the princess with the Dark Goblin and the archer, are pretty bad because they die immediately. They have very low health, HP. So in this modifier, basically tanks are great. And here I waited some seconds in order to avoid like to switch. Look, because here on the right I had I think the Giant Skelly and the Goblin Machine, which were quite like they could melt my queen. So just a few seconds before that, I switched the queen on the other side to get the P.E.K.K.A, which was only a 2-star, so it could resist much more and do much more damage. So also the placements are important. Not that important as the composition, but they still play an important role, and they allow you to do more damage or sometimes even to win. Especially if you are playing like rangers against assassins. This is a mistake that I often make, which is that when I'm against assassins, very few times I check the composition, and so they melt my squad essentially. So here I was hoping to make the dummy survive, but as I said, the P.E.K.K.A is really strong in the beginning, so I had no chance. But I keep cycling, and usually another tip in the first rounds, what you want to do is to play goblins if you can, so you can gain even more elixir at the beginning. So here, for example, as you can see, we are in the second round, and I already have a 3-star Valk. So I will play everything around that in order to snowball on the fact that I got a 3-star Valk, which is really strong. So I think, yeah, here I play the Rangers again, because even if they are only 2-star or 1-star, if you have a 3-star troop in the middle, look, like, you win. Essentially, in the first round, you always win. And this was only the third round, so now I keep trying to level things up. Here one thing that I did here, which is important to notice, is that I sold my Dark Goblin to keep the cycle going. This is a kind of double-edged sword, because as you can see, maybe I didn't recover the Goblin Dart again, and so it messes your synergy. So for this round I was a bit messed up, but since I had the 3-star Valk, I was okay, and I also played. I also faced the player who already lost, so he had a low squad, like a weak squad, and so I could take that risk, let's say. Okay, so here I took the princess again, and so okay, as you can see, this is really important again. Let's put it to 1. Okay, so look at this. What I did was to buy the princess and sell the 2-star princess, and I placed the princess again in the middle. So this is really nice in the middle of the game, because in this way you can keep cycling without losing elixir, because if I sold the bomber or the spear goblin or any other 1-star card, I would have lost elixir. But what I did here was to sell the 2-star princess in order to keep cycling, and then I can recover the 2-star princess, as you can see. This is the key. This is another really nice tip. Look at this. I keep cycling, and then I've got a 2-star princess and a 2-star knight, so at the end of the day it was much better overall. So this is another really nice tip. Okay. And the placement for this composition is more or less always the same. Sometimes, I mean, it's not that important to place the princess, the Dark Goblin, or the archer in one side or the other. Usually there are some players who prefer to place the princess on the left and the Dark Goblin on the right and the archer on the center, but I mean, it depends. I mean, it doesn't change that much, in my opinion. So here, as you can see, we basically win because we snowballed on the fact that we had much higher level cards. I will just make sure that thing is still recording. Okay, nice. Let's do like this. Okay, nice. Okay, let's keep going. Look at that fast cycle. So essentially you sell everything that you don't want, and in the last rounds it is good to keep like, for example, my opponent was playing, okay, Clan and Avengers essentially, and he had a 2-star Magnite, so if I found a Magnite, it was good to place it and just leave it in the bench, so he couldn't make it to 3 stars. Here we reached 4,330 trophies or stars. Mamma mia quante. This is a swarm. This is a swarm. Okay, so here we had a 2-star knight and a 1-star knight, and so we basically win the round. Another thing that I'm learning is sometimes to avoid this overcycling. This is really important, because sometimes you just cycle without thinking, but sometimes you have to pause and say, okay, I can just leave this and cycle when the round is finished, because I can secure the win, like in this case, and make a lot of damage. So, like okay, I see the composition of my opponent, more or less what they are playing, and I leave the goblins because they have a good synergy in the beginning. And even if I lose, it's not that much of a trouble. And we keep cycling. So here in this case I was lucky to get the 3-star Goblin Machine, and what we already know is that the Goblin Machine interacts very well with the Rangers, and especially in this case because I have already a 2-star Dart Goblin. And again, I sold the 2-star Dart Goblin, even if it was counterintuitive maybe, but in this case it allowed me to keep cycling, and I already knew that with the 3-star Goblin Machine I was pretty secure, because this is just the 3rd round, so it was impossible for me to lose with the 3-star Goblin Machine in the 3rd round. So when you can keep cycling, just exploit that. I am sorry that the replays will be pretty fast, but I mean, let me see, it's already 6:30 and we got like 2 more hours of replays, so I just hope that something can be taken out of this, maybe by watching them a bit more slowly. I can also upgrade some other replays when I'm playing in the next days, but I won't be able to comment them. And here, for example, I go for the Undead with Splashers. This is another good composition, and usually the placement is more or less the same. And in this case we win against... no, well, we lose. We lost against the Rangers. And yeah, I think we lost this game because usually Clan and Avengers are strong against this, and also the Rangers with Prince, Dark Goblin, etc. But let's see. Yeah, and the Bandit is crazy. The Bandit is crazy. Okay, so we lost this. We finished 3rd. Oh, this is one of my favorite ones. In this modifier, for every troop that you sell, you gain 1 elixir. So essentially, you are gaining 2 elixir per every time that you merge. Well, actually, when you sell, but it's related, let's say. And here, for example, this is another cool, simple tip. I place the knight on the right, on the opposite side of the princess, because the princess has a lot of range, so you can distract everyone on the right, and then the troops have to come towards the princess, so you gain more time and you do more damage. And hopefully you win, like in this case. So usually it is quite counterintuitive to win in that way, but as you can see, it can be useful. So here I was hoping for the Rangers, but again it doesn't look like it. And then here I just leave that. I prefer to leave the Princess instead of the bird, because it does a bit more damage, essentially. Okay, I know I'm not commenting that much, but essentially, once you get used to that idea of cycling troops, it I mean it is quite difficult to explain every single merge and sell. So here, for example, the best thing I can tell you is that I try to go for the usual composition, and then I sell when I need to get more cards. I mean, I want to make a 3-star knight. Okay, I keep cycling until I get some knight. I want to make a oh, okay, I want to make a 3-star princess, so I keep cycling until I find the princess. Always keeping in mind the composition of the opponents, because if the opponent has a level 2 archer, for example, I know I can't get a level 3 archer. And sometimes there is this annoying bug where the cards are finished, but in this case was probably because all the cards were already taken. So here again, basically, okay, I took the queen in order to, like, dare fastidio. I don't know how to translate that, just to avoid the opponent, just to avoid the opportunity for the opponent to get a 3-star queen. Okay, so here it is the mistake that I told you, which is that sometimes I forget about the assassins and I get quite destroyed. But here what I did was to place everything behind, so with this placement you can defend pretty well against assassins. And here I was hoping for a 3-star Valk, because it tanks a lot, and with splash damage it works really well against that composition. Look at that, look at that, look at that. Well, here we were unlucky, so we lost. But still a win for us. Still a win. So here with the Elixir Collector, generally I tend to sell on the 3rd or 4th round, because at that point in the game you can already do many merges and the collector is not that effective anymore. So we keep cycling here, and I leave the P.E.K.K.A in the front, and we keep cycling. Okay, we keep cycling, leaving few troops in the bench. This is another thing that I have also to learn myself, which is the key thing, that usually it is better to leave few troops in the bench. Like, this is not so good. Okay, but we leave 2-star troops in the field, so it is okay. It is okay. And we are trying to go for the Rangers here with the Princess and the Dart Goblin. But probably all our opponents already had the Archer. So here I had to somehow... Oh, okay. Here I made a mistake. I didn't take the Archer. I was over cycling without thinking. So this was a mistake. But since we had really good card levels, it was okay. We managed to win the round, even if we didn't have extremely good synergies. And this time I remembered to take the Archer, and we make the usual placement with the Valk in the middle. Sometimes I place the Valk, sometimes I play the Knight, and also now sometimes I replace the P.E.K.K.A with the Mega Knight, because the Mega Knight is used for clan and rangers, so if you take that, they can't play it, and so it's better for you. And also it's another thing that the Mega Knight stuns a lot, so when you play rangers, it is good not to face Mega Knight. And also the stun of the Mega Knight when you play rangers allows you to gain more time And you know, the ability of the Rangers is that as time goes on, they get quicker and quicker to attack. So it's much better if you gain time. So it has a lot of health and it allows you to gain time. So the Rangers work much better with the Mega Knight. Here we keep cycling, and at this point I think I went for the clan composition with the P.E.K.K.A. and yeah, something like that. I was trying to go with the Clan Avengers composition, but I had a 2-star Golden Knight, which was pretty good. So even if you don't have a perfect synergy in the beginning, it's not that big of an issue. We keep cycling here, and oh, okay, this was the first time in my life that I played the assassins. Since my opponents didn't have any Golden Knight or something like that, I decided to try that composition, but then I switched again, and I tried to go for, well, yes, still the assassins. But I just wanted to level the Golden Knight. And I played the throwers. I tried this composition, and I don't remember if it worked that well for me, because here we lost the round, but we were second, so still good. I think I killed like 50 mosquitoes up to now, something like that. Okay, so here at this point I'm trying to level up the throwers, and well, but it was quite tricky because he defended well, he placed everything behind, so it was difficult to get through. But again, a second place is still a win for us. So here we are, well, I didn't pause in time, but we were at 4360 stars, basically, which was, okay, I will leave everything now, okay. But, oh, okay. Okay, let's get back to work. So here I played the Mega Knight with the... okay, this is another thing. I contradicted myself a little bit here, because usually I said, usually I try... Well, okay, in this case it doesn't matter because everything was for Elixir, but sometimes, even if it is the first round, it is good to wait a little bit and play some higher Elixir card, because it allows you to win and avoid... I mean, sometimes it is better to win in the beginning. It is not always the case that it is better just to keep the cheapest card. Because in this case, I knew that if I placed my things here in this way, I could win the round, and as you can see, like, okay, no, it's good. I thought both troops survived, but it was not the case. And yet, as you can see, it doesn't mess the cycle that much. I was lucky with the merges and everything. And here again, I leave 2-star troops in the field, so this was an easy win again, because usually opponents forget to do that, to keep the composition in the field, and we already have a 3-star Valk again. So what we want to do now is to exploit that as much as possible. Even if we lose, it's not a problem. Even if we lose some rounds, because we have a lot of... we are 6, I don't know, 6 health points with the tower. So we can manage to take some damage to keep cycling and snowball, and then win in the next rounds. So here we go. As you can see, look, I will pause this 1 second. We got 1-star Archer, 1-star Dart Goblin, 1-star Goblin Machine, and 2-star Princess. And basically, yeah, more or less even levels against the opponent. The opponent has a composition that works better against us in the late game. But in this stage, we are so over-leveled that we win easily. Look at that. Everything survives, and we take the opponent out. So this is the key. Level up as much as you can and keep control of the composition. It is not easy, I know, it is not that easy sometimes, and also some decisions sometimes are difficult. For example, like this, I don't know what I did here, but okay, here I forgot about the assassins and I got destroyed. Mamma mia, quanti ce ne sono. Okay, level 3 princess, and okay, look at that. Let's pause 1 second. Here, what did I do? At this stage, we can, like, okay, this is already a good composition with the P.E.K.K.A, but what I did was to sell the 2-star P.E.K.K.A and keep cycling, hoping to get some other 3-star cards. And as you can see, I got a 3-star Dark Goblins. So we got, before we had a 2-star P.E.K.K.A and a 2-star Dark Goblin. I sell the P.E.K.K.A, and now we have a 3-star Dark Goblin, which is one of the strongest cards in this composition, because it's so fast, it does a lot of damage, so it's much better. So this was another intelligent move, to sell the P.E.K.K.A. We got the 3-star Goblin, and then we got another level 1 P.E.K.K.A, which is better. It's much better to have a 3-star Goblin and a 1-star P.E.K.K.A than the other way around, as we had before with 2 stars both, because it already thanks a lot. Like, this is much better. This was a good decision. And as you can see, okay, the opponent was already out, so free win. And here I had to remember we faced here we faced the Clan Avengers. But this time we were lucky. Okay, so as you can see here, I kept the Bandit to avoid the opponent to get a 3-star Bandit. And since we had a 3-star Valk, the opponent couldn't level up the Valk anymore. He just could have a 1-star Valk. Okay, so basically the common pool of cards is 5 cards, because 4 cards are a 3-star card. Like, if you got 4 archers, you get a 3-star archer, and then there is 1 extra archer that some other people can have. So in the common pool of cards, there are 5 cards, 5 instances for each card, if you want. Okay, here we keep the cycle and we leave the goblins in the field. It was better if I placed the prince, maybe, probably, but it doesn't matter because we won and we kept cycling. So we keep a good composition here and we keep cycling. I decided to sell the 3-star spear goblins because I preferred to snowball and already have the composition that I wanted with the rangers. And so, okay, we are good. Here I place, this is a usual placement. When we have 5 troops, I usually like to place them in this way. And this is a mirror match against rangers. But since we had a better synergy here with the knight and the goblin machine, we managed to take the opponent out, almost. We place the P.E.K.K.A in the middle and we keep cycling until we get something that we like in this case the 3-star goblin machine. And here we wait. Oof, that bandit was really strong against us. Okay, so here we keep cycling. We got a 3-star princess. As you can see, another key tip is that I left the 1-star P.E.K.K.A on the left. Like, for example, usually I want to level something to 3 stars. Also the knight, if you can see here, it is in the bench and I never touch it. Why? Because to make a 3-star card, you need a 2-star plus a 1-star, and then you get the merge when you get in the hand the troop to select. For example, here I keep cycling, and if I get the chance to get a P.E.K.K.A, since I have a 2-star P.E.K.K.A and a 1-star P.E.K.K.A, I will get a 3-star P.E.K.K.A. So this is the key, to leave the stuff... Oh, wait, I had also an... Okay, you can see I also have a 1-star Dark Goblin. So here, when I place... when I play again the video, you will see that I get the chance to select a Dark Goblin So I will obtain a 3-star Dart Goblin, thanks to the fact that I left the Dart Goblin on the bench. Same for the P.E.K.K.A, and same for the Knight when it will come to my hand. If the opponent doesn't have the missing Knight, but it is quite unlikely, I think. Okay, so here we are facing Rangers again. And I decided to play the 3-star Skeleton King instead of the Knight, even if it is a little bit worse in terms of synergy, but it tanks so much. So look at that. Thanks to the fact that it tanks a lot, we didn't lose immediately, but we will lose in the next round probably. Like, look at that. We have a 1-star archer, and I couldn't find any more archers because my opponent had all the missing archers, essentially. So this is a bit tricky sometimes. So he had a 2-star archer, and he probably had a 1-star archer in the bench, maybe, and I had the other archer, but there was one left, so maybe he could find it. I don't know. Well, at this point I'm just merging for fun, I don't know. I decided to play the giant skelly to stun a little bit, and I think it was a good move, maybe? No, okay, we still lost. But sometimes it can be a useful insight to switch a little bit the composition. So, okay, as you can see, here we are at 4350. And again, here I decided to go with the goblin, and I placed them in the lower left corner because look at it, look at that. The knight tanks for the P.E.K.K.A. My goblin takes the other goblin because I don't know. It was a bit strange. Maybe the goblin of the opponent was still also focusing on my knight, and so with the goblin I do a damage to the P.E.K.K.A. But at least I just lose 1 HP. Well, 2 HP to the tower. And here I leave the goblins to get more elixir. And we win the round because the prince is really good in the beginning with stunning, and especially with the goblins do a lot of damage. So here I decided to to keep merging and go with the rangers with P.E.K.K.A. in front. And again, I did the usual trick where I sell the 2-star Dart Goblin and I get the 1-star in order to keep cycling, because it's just round 3. And look at that, even if my opponent had 2-star cards, we did pretty decent. So when we will level up, we will be in a good spot. I don't know, I'm getting some trouble to put stuff into words. Okay, it's almost 7 PM, almost 1 hour. Time flies. Okay, I will try to see as many replays as possible. I don't know if I will be able to finish. Maybe I will be forced to pause this and make a second part some other day. I don't know when, but let's keep focusing. Here, well, sometimes I like to place stuff in the lower left corner because the troops of the opponent come towards you and you already start how to say it, hitting earlier, or gaining time if you want. And here we keep cycling, and I left the 2-star Dark Goblin and kept cycling the other cards. So again, another tip, for example, if you have just a single 2-star card, you keep cycling. But when you have already like 2 or 3 2-star cards, you can just leave the one that you want to keep in the ground. Whoa, mosquito. Okay. You can just leave the one that you want in the ground and cycle the others without caring too much. And that's what I did. Like, for example, I don't care about the ghost, so I sell the Ghost. I don't care about the Valk right now. Well, okay, yeah, I cared about the Valk. But the Ghost, for example, is useless with this synergy, so I sell the 2-star Ghost and I keep cycling to find the cards that I want. Okay, here what I was facing... Okay, I was lucky with the 3-star Queen. And look at that. This is really important again, as I said. Look at this. Look at this situation. What would you do usually? So every time that you see a replay from some other people, one thing that I like to do is to ask myself, what what am I thinking? Like, what would I do in this place, in this situation, and what did he actually do? So in this case, what I did was to sell the 2-star P.E.K.K.A, level up, merge, get the knight. Since I was up in elixir, I bought the other knight, I merged the barb, I kept cycling, and here I got the chance to upgrade the knight to 3 stars. Why? Instead of randomly, just mindlessly selling, merging and selling all the time, I said, like, I quickly saw this thing. So I could get a 2-star knight, which is good for my composition. And then I saw immediately a 1-star knight. So there is a good chance that if I keep cycling, I could get a 3-star knight, which was the case. So this is another important thing. This was a really nice play. But I decided to leave the Valk because of the splash. And it was a good choice because we won the round against the assassins. But here, okay, it was good for me because I had the 3-star Queen, so my opponent, which was playing Clan Avengers, couldn't put it. And here, okay, I tried just to get 3-star cards. So the missing one was the Princess. And I just left the Valk on the side in order to not give the chance to my opponent to get the Valk, essentially, which works well for him. So this is an example of, even if you play Rangers, you can win against Clan Avengers. But here I was dumb because I forgot he had Assassins, and I just lost dumbly because I had a much better composition. If I placed everything in back, I could have won. And here I was dumb twice, let's say, I think. Okay, no, I was. This was the one that I won, because I remember that in one match he removed the assassins and then he placed them back, and okay, I messed the placements, but look at that, it was a really nice defense. So in this case, since I knew that the Rangers were weak against my opponent, I just messed up all the synergies and just placed the troops that were working well against him. Here I start with the bomber in the back, with the archer. The bomber is pretty good now. Okay, so we got the round. We keep cycling, and I decided to go with this. So with the undead, with the goblin, which does a lot of damage. And I don't remember if we won this round. Probably yes. Yeah, look at that. Look at that damage. That's 4 HP that we took out on the opponent. And here again, we leave the goblins synergy, which is good in the beginning. But this doesn't look good because the opponents are leveling up a lot. So we are quite late on elixir, on the elixir rush, on the merge rush. So okay, we managed to come back with the merge. We get a 3-star archer, and so it is a no-brainer to get the Rangers. This is important. Let's rewind a little bit. Look at this, because this was a good move in my opinion. Look at this. Look at this composition. We have 1 elixir and 1 star cards. This is crazy. This was a really nice move. Look at this. So we are in this situation. We placed this, we got that, and we got a 2-star goblin, so we sell the goblin. We get a 2-star, we sell, we get a 2-star, we sell. And we keep cycling until very few seconds until the end, and trying to make a much better composition. So here I had a 3-star archer, so I said to myself, okay, let's get the rangers, because we already have a 1-star goblin machine which works well for us. We can cycle the ghost to get some other good synergy for us. So okay, here we sell the executioner and we get a 2-star goblin machine. And again, we keep cycling. Now it is time, we have 11 seconds left. And I already got the Dark Goblin. So at this point, what I want to do is to get a princess as fast as I can. And if I get a 2-star Dark Goblin, it's better. So we keep cycling. And okay, so now we get the princess. And the prince is pretty good with the princess because of the royal synergy. And so look at this. Look at this. Now, just think about how we started, like the composition that we had at the beginning of this round, and look at what we have now. Like, it's crazy. This was really good because we leveled a lot, and we are very strong here. We are very strong here. And I also get a 2-star Dark Goblin. So as you can see, very few seconds before the end of the placement round, I just adjust things, and I only have the prince in the bench, even if I kept merging all the time. So this was a really nice way to manage the composition. This is what I mean when I'm saying that you focus on the synergy and keep cycling, essentially. Look at that. This was really nice. One of the best rounds so far. And we go for the... Here I didn't know well what to do, because like the archer, I like the archer. And the Dark Goblin, I want to make it to level 3. But here I needed to sell stuff to get the 3-star princess. And I decided to sell the prince. I don't remember what was that. In order to get the princess. And then I get also a 3-star Dark Goblin. And then I can just get a 2-star tank easily, which is much better because I already have the 3-star rangers. So again, we place some stuff in the front, but we have 3-star rangers there. So look at that. Even if the opponent had the assassins, they got melted because they were very low star levels. So look at this. This was really well done. This was a really nice game for us. Okay, okay, probably this one is the one I missed, because I saw he had the assassins, then he changed the composition, and then he went back to assassins. So look at that, this is the mistake that I did, because they jumped, and then at this point he had good levels, but we still won, lol, I didn't remember this, he tricked me, but... we were so strong there. And look at this. Okay. Just 1 second. Okay. Look at that. 4,370 stars. Ranked 439 in the world. This was... No, maybe this morning I reached a bit more trophies. I was like 4,390, something like that. And I was 1 game away from reaching the 4,400, but I was unlucky. I didn't play well. I was a bit unlucky with the bug with no cards, because there is a bug when you play the Spirit Empress. Sometimes there is a bug that in the early rounds you don't have any, like you can't select any card to buy, essentially. Okay, so in this modifier you get a card which synergizes with your composition, so this is pretty good for cycling. And at this point, since I had a Valk and Barb and an Archer, I decided to go for the Clan and Avengers composition, and I preferred to play the 2-star Prince even if it didn't synergize, because it's much stronger, essentially. Okay. Okay, here I was mixing a little bit the stuff, because if I got a Dart Goblin, I would have went for the Rangers, and on the other hand, if I got a Queen, I could go for the Clan and Avengers. So it was a kind of a mixed composition. So we lost, but I was thinking more about the long-term result of the game. Okay, so here I get the Queen, and I was trying to get something. Okay, I couldn't find the Dark Goblin, and so I went for this, essentially. Look at that, even if we were facing 3-star cards, we had a solid composition, and we managed to win this. So at this point, this is the bug I'm telling you, but in this case maybe it's probably not a bug, because it was round 5 and all the players were still alive, so it's not a bug probably. So this was just bad luck, maybe, or I'm just a noob. Another important tip that I can give you is that once one player loses the round, all the cards get back into the common pool of cards. So for example, if in this case, Dude, I'm against Dude. If I win against Dude, all the cards about the Queen, the Barb, the Valke that he has will get back to the pool, so I will be able to get them. So for example, if I have a 2-star Barb and I want to make a 3-star Barb, since he will lose the round, maybe, in this case I don't remember, but if he loses the round, I will be able to make a 3-star Barb, and this is important to keep in mind. I will just make sure. Okay, so that's it. Okay, I don't know, here we probably lost a round because he had the 3-star Queen, which was pretty good. I lost this game. Guys, I'm sorry, but it's 7 PM and well, we will see this final game, well, which was one of the, I mean, up to now it's essentially the best games that I played to reach the 4,000, almost 4,400 trophies, or stars if you want. So we will finish this replay, and then I don't know if I will be able to make a second part, or I will just publish the remaining part of the replays. I don't know. I will see in the following days. Okay, so we lost here and we finished third. And it was not a bug, it was bad luck, essentially, because all the parts, all the troops, all the cards were already taken. So we leave it like this. I think this can be quite useful. I wanna go eat now. So essentially I will try to fix, as I said, a comment with some general outline with the tips, and I hope this was useful for you. So let me know, and see you in the next one. Just look at all that stuff. Crazy, crazy. Just imagine how I felt recording the video. But I survived.